Hi, everyone. This is Tom Parmalee with Funeral Service Insider, and joining me today is Craig Meehan, National Sales Manager at ASD Answering Service for Directors, the leading funeral home answering service. ASD is also one of the sponsors of our technology think tank, September 9th at the Marriott Providence downtown in Providence, Rhode Island. Thanks for joining me today, Craig.
Hey, Tom, thank you.
Well, everyone knows ASD, but I'm going to ask a few questions just so they know a little bit more about how you're responding to the crisis, the pandemic, of course, and and how you're helping funeral homes. I guess my first question is: we saw an easing in the pandemic for some time, and I think all of us sort of thought that it was going to go away, and now we see this new variant, the Delta variant. Does your call volume, are you seeing this pickup in the variant? Is that reflected in your call volume and what you're seeing at ASD?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, it does, Tom. A little backstory, we answer for over 9,000 rooftops. So roughly 48% of the funeral homes across the United States. In March 2020, we averaged around that first week, average around 2,500 death calls a day. Come March 9th, we sent everybody home, got everybody set up for taking calls remotely. And 3 weeks later, we were at around 4,500 death calls a day. So huge jump. Kickback now in this last month, again, we're up 25%. Now, funeral homes are using us differently. COVID has changed a lot. More firms are using us 24/7. But we've taken out kind of that increased call volume when it comes to strictly death numbers. And the numbers do show just from our numbers that, yes, the deaths are up again.
I'm sure you've had to pivot as an organization, just like all of us. We're speaking on Zoom more often and whatnot. What has it been like at ASD? How has your job changed, the life of your colleagues and such?
Yeah, so in that third week in March in 2020, we stopped, all of our sales and marketing, actively selling to new clients, and we all jumped on the phones. It's just that is the foundation of our business, to be able to answer those phone calls in a very timely manner without putting anybody on hold. So everybody's job here has changed. Now, myself and my sales department, we are currently working on hiring and employee retention because that's so important. Are going from 2,500 death calls to 4,500 death calls in a matter of 3 weeks, and not being able to hire additional employees because our training takes so long. Our guys, our employees, our whole company really put in the extra effort. I really consider them heroes, and worked extra hours, a lot of overtime to be able to handle that call volume. So yeah, now we are fully concentrated on hiring additional staff and really motivating our employees going forward.
Now, how have you been helping funeral homes confront this crisis? And how do you help them on a day-to-day basis? Not everyone might be familiar with what you have to offer. So, how can you help them?
Yeah, so we did pivot, and we introduced some new technology rather quickly. For example, when someone, everybody is having live streamed service now. So when a client call or when a caller calls a funeral home and they say, I can't get this live link, it's so long. When is the service times? Now we offer where we're able to text them, the caller, directly the live link to the stream, so that they can pull it up right on their phone without having to go to the website. And what that does, in addition, since now funeral homes' websites are their main source of, when people aren't walking into the funeral home to see what you have to offer, now that virtual environment is their storefront. So not only are we providing the information to the live streaming, but we're also bringing more clients that might not have gone into the website into the funeral home's website. And that's just one of the little things that we've implemented during the pandemic to really stay with current times, to help the funeral homes with the current challenges that they have.
Is there anything you're currently working on that you might want to give us a sneak peek of, or maybe any future changes at ASD that you want to share?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you so much for asking. So we're very proud, and I think most funeral homes and other businesses that have been affected by COVID, which is most everybody, you have to learn to take that. And again, everybody's mentioning the word pivot, right? So we've always had a dream here at ASD to open a southern office. We're in Media, Pennsylvania. The funeral business is so personal. And so some of our firms in the southern states always ask, can you get some call specialists, maybe that sound like us, because that's important to have a family calling in and the person answering the phone to sound like them. So it's always been a dream of ours to hire folks from the South with those attributes. And we would have loved to plan it out and had 6 months to a year to do it. But since we've converted all of our training to virtual training, we now have that opportunity, and we are on our 3rd class of 35 new call specialists that are from South Carolina. So, when something when there are huge changes in the market, you can be able to kind of make those dreams come true. We never thought in funeral service that we'd be live streaming a service. So to take, the kind of lemons and make them into lemonade, I think is super important right now.
Well, I'm going to be showing this video at our technology think tank, which you are sponsoring. There's about 50 people in the room. So I just want to thank you and your organization, ASD, for supporting our event. Is there any final words that you want to say to the attendees here, or anyone who might be listening to this video on social media?
Yeah, absolutely. We are so honored to be even a small portion, a small part of being involved in the funeral service right now. We might not be on the front lines with you physically, but we certainly are emotionally, and are so proud of our staff. I want to shout out our staff. And again, just thank everybody in the funeral service for their service to the profession, and helping everybody move forward and providing the best service to the families in their time of need.
Well, thank you, Craig. And if you're listening to this video before the event, our technology think tank will be September 9th at the Marriott Providence downtown in Providence, Rhode Island. If you want to learn more, visit AmericanFuneralDirector.com, click on events. You can learn more about this event as well as future events that we have. Thanks so much again, Craig.
All right. Thank you, Tom.